Saturday afternoon, 1:40 on the East Coast. We're starting the SOMIFA 2018 season preview show. Live from my bedroom in Flushing, Queens, New York. I'll be flying solo today. All right, I did send out a link in the SOMIFA Slack channel. People listening to this who don't know what the hell they're listening to, SOMIFA is a Strat-O-Matic Football Online Keeper League. Strat-O-Matic is a game company that makes sports simulation games. They've been making them for over 50 years. It used to be a dice and cards game. It still is a dice and cards game. But about 20 years ago, they computerized the game, and there are still dice and card versions, but it's also all been computerized as well. Obviously, online we play computerized, and this is a 2014 modern Strat Football Keeper League using the current card set, which is last year's card set. That's the year the Patriots beat the Rams 10-3 in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes MVP year, well, his first MVP year. Who knows what he'll do in the future? And we're going to get right into it. I tend to get off track. I tend to want to talk about things like the draft or some pet peeves come to light. But we're going to get going with this because I've got a couple of Strat things I want to take care of. I want to do this SOMIFA season preview show, and I need to do a Strat 28 season preview show. That league is a 28-team league. It's got 2 conferences now of 14. Conference alignment will change every year in that league. So I'll probably do 2 shows for that, one for one conference and one for the other. And then I can put these Strat things behind me and go on with the rest of my life, right? That's what I should be doing. The other things I have to take care of. Theoretically, I'm writing a book that you could ask me about, but it's a long story. I'm writing a novel. I started a long time ago, put it down. Then late last year, so I'm going to take one more whack at it. I've been working on it this year. Got about 150 pages in so far, but I really need to make it habitual. And I was doing that at a couple of points this year, and I need to get back to that where I'm doing it 5 days a week or so, set times a day. So I've got to be a little more disciplined and not get carried away with some of these extracurricular things I could be using that time to write and stuff like that. So I'll try to be a little more disciplined. Use some of Jay Villing's advice. He focused. So this is a season preview show, so I should focus on the upcoming season, right? And not get sidetracked into other things. I will say that I played my first game last night with the new set. I was very excited to do that. It's played Tim Bolyer's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tim took me down 37-34. It was a great game. Tim had, I think, a 34-17 lead. And I think I had thrown an interception long pass right with Andrew Luck 2-11. And then I had thrown an interception in the end zone late third quarter with Andrew Luck on, I think, a short pass wrong. Defense 4 men. But I was down 34-7, put me down 34-17 late, and I couldn't stop him at all. I think he punted once. But then shortly after the interception in the end zone, Patrick Mahomes had a snap fumble, and his number is low. It's under 3, I believe. He had a snap fumble that I recovered, like at Tim's 30-yard line or something. And then he also, I think, was intercepted. No, he also missed a 2-10 field goal in that fourth quarter, and that allowed me to come back all the way. I tied up 34-34, but Tim got the ball with a couple of minutes left, and behind Zach Zenner's running, got himself down to field goal range. And this time, Matt Bryant made the kick to the 10, and Tim won 37-34, game that he definitely should have won. Tim and I have a bit of a SOMIFA history of starting to playing each other in the first quarter of these games, of these leagues. And oftentimes we play the same day that the file comes out, not by design. And last time I had a good team, and Tim had a rebuilding team with Dak Prescott's great rookie card. And Tim beat me handily. I was like, oh, it's going to be a long season. But then I went on to go about 12-4 or something. So even though yesterday I had a feeling, I was like, you know what? I think it's going to be similar. I think, Tim, I'm going to lose to Tim again. He's going to score a lot of points. But so what? I want to play. And I had a great time. It was a close game, and my offense was going. And this offense is exciting. We'll get to my team, but my defense, it was going to be very interesting to see what some of these teams look like as we start getting into them here in today's show, because it was an offensive year in Strat, in the NFL rather, so therefore in Strat, of course. And the offense, a lot of good quarterbacks, good years. It seems like almost everyone can flat pass pretty well. There's certainly an increased number of good rushing cards compared to the previous year. I think that 2017 set was a little weak in rushing cards. Certainly not a lot of depth there. There's no outside linebackers who can do anything. You know what I mean? So I wonder if it's just going to look more offensive like the NFL was, and this is already a modern league with an offensive rule set. I mean, Tim and our defenses were at a loss for the most part. Tim was only just standing around with his secondary all fours a majority of the time. So by strategy. So it was a great game, and I'm wondering if there'll be a lot more like that, a lot of fireworks. And before we get into this, so I've got the year-by-year coaching grid, right, with your standings for each of your seasons in the league. I got last year's standings here. Let's remember that Ed is the reigning champ. He beat Dennis 32-11 in the Super Bowl. Okay, that was Ed's. I don't know how many championships won. This is only back to 07 now. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been around so long, I have to scroll to the right. 2002 was the first season of this league, so that was in the calendar year 2003, so this is like the 16th year of the league or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was Ed's 5th championship, but his first since 2010. It had been 7 years since he made it, and that was Dennis' second Super Bowl appearance in 4 years, the second in the league history, yes. The second in 4 years, and the second first franchise in the league. So, of course, those two guys are always in the mix, competing at the highest levels of the league, and always a threat to take home a title or make a Super Bowl appearance. As Dennis showed me in SSFA, with his 9-7 club upended my undefeated club in the first round of the playoffs, the divisional round, post wildcard. So let's start with Arizona. That's Bob Ojak, Arizona Cardinals. Bob's done a good job in the last year or two in a number of leagues that I'm aware of, SSA and SOMIFA, overachieving with some teams. So I really got to credit his coaching for that. The personnel, this 9-7 team he had here 3 years ago was not a good team on paper. And last year's team, 13-3, Dennis and I think had predicted that they would not even make the playoffs. And we were off because he was the number one. He was the number 1 seed. Okay. So, and of course, I told myself I was going to put up my grid for the predictions. And then I forgot. We're flying solo today because Dennis has got family stuff to take care of. An important event, well, not an event, but important thing he's got to go into with his family. And I needed to get a show in. Like I said, I didn't want it to be now or never. Tomorrow's football. I got stuff to do during the week, so let me get this show in now. And I gotta find a space to do these predictions. I had a good template last year. I even wrote a note. Before that said, keep track of the predictions. And then I did not open the spreadsheet before I started the program. So now you hear me killing time as I try to find this will do the job. This is the last year. I don't know if I had any franchise relocations. I hope not. That'd be kind of annoying. I was going to put it here. Got all that stuff here. Just want to put it maybe over here. So that type of high quality content that you guys turn into the show to see. Of course, I'm still fairly new with this stuff, so I'm wondering if I have kept track of everything. It looks like I have. We might be in business. Hold on one second, gentlemen. And let me just save this as something. Wake up. Type backspace key. Type 8. Go to sleep. Oh, well, we'll find out the hard way if there are any franchise relocations. But all right, yeah, let's start with Arizona again. So like I said, that's Bob Ojak. I'm trying to go 5 minutes a team. That would be a 2-hour show. And you throw in fluff, which I usually have more than enough of, and maybe an extra 20 minutes to half an hour. So try and keep it to 2:20, 2:30 at most in terms of the running time. Get myself out of here by about 4 or 5 in the afternoon. That wouldn't be too bad. Okay. As I do my early Saturday afternoon broadcast here. So Bob Ojak was 13-3 last year, the number 1 seed, but lost. There's been a lot of that in the SOMIFA leagues, it seems like, in recent years, but lost in the early in the divisional round. Close standings again. I'm really not doing a good job here. You guys are going to change the channel on me if I don't get my act together here. Okay. Yeah, he lost to Bradley Miller. 29-17 is Bradley's club made an appearance in the semifinals. And I ran through all this stuff during the draft show. But, now we're talking about the actual team for the upcoming year. I know Joe Flacco has been the quarterback for this team. And then we have the draft grid here. I don't remember if Bob didn't have a first-round pick. So there was no future quarterback coming there. And Joe Flacco returns. With Deshaun Kaiser backing up. I can bring up my player rankings for the year. That's always helpful. I don't think I have Flacco too high. These are in a mathematical order by some formulas I use, but again, I wouldn't say I swear by them. I use them as a guide, and then I kind of go from there. But I've got Joe at number 38 QB in a set this year, which is low in a 2014 league. And you can see he only completed 61.2% of his passes. I think the NFL was around 64% last year. Well, the turnovers were low. And Bob's done a great job with West Coast attacks. So you got the 5 of the incomplete, but the interceptions on 10. So that's really more like a 6 only incomplete, which you don't really see too often. So that's okay. And again, this is like the 38th card in the set by my ranking. There's the short pass gives you 11, guess correctly, 11-19, but the long pass is a killer, only 2-8. So when you can't throw deep at all, it just makes it even easier to bring that safety up and do what you want with him. It's hard to take some pay for doing that. All right. Although a lot of times in this league, you might have to bring the safety up anyway. I don't know. I need to sort of reinvent my whole approach to defensive coaching. I think in the modern leagues, I don't think I'm doing a good job with it. I don't think I have in many years. I started thinking more about this, the bend but don't break stuff, touchdowns versus field goals, and maybe you just need to do more aggressively, seek out stops, which is what I used to do, and I think was more effective. I remember when we first started doing these shows and coming online live, we talked about with Dennis and stuff that with these modern rules, that if you stand around, you're generally going to get killed. That was what we said back then, which made me strong. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm coaching defense too well, nor have I in a long time, I would say. And I gotta think about that in these leagues. I coach defense great in the old rule set, but anybody could. Or get good personnel and stand there, as I taught Michael Reeves, and he thrives now with the rules that Dennis likes to play in Battle Royale and Sprint. But anyway, certainly these things are comparative, right? Talking about card quality. So for Flacco, even though he's number 38 or whatever, there's two things I want to say. If he's 38, then you're playing your opponent. He's got a guy who's like 14 or whatever. He has an advantage at the position. Okay, all right. So that's his cards are better than your cards, right? In this case, his card is better than your card. But can you compete with this card? Can you do enough with this card? You probably can to an extent. You probably can. From what we've seen of Bob as well. If the rest of your team is good enough, okay. Long pass hurts, but you can run a lot of offense, flat pass, short pass in the running game without the long pass in the modern rules, in my view. I think the long pass capacity is important, though. You don't want the guy to feel like he can just win the free safety willy-nilly. So it's something a lot harder to play on the rest of the field if you have no capability to throw the bomb. But I don't know if the rest of the team is good. If you have a good running game, if you got good pass blocking, you can still get it done. You're going to get the dump off. You're going to get wrong calls. So, I tried to do a little of that last year with my team when I Ryan Fitzpatrick and Matt Moore in there, as Andrew Luck was out with injury. Of course, he's now retired. So the offensive line got only 1-7 at right tackle, got a 5 at left tackle, got 3-3-4 on the inside. So not great pass blocking, not great run blocking either. As they're all 4s except for left tackle Larry Tunsil, who's a 5. You do have T.Y. Hilton, who's got a maxed out type of card. Luck there last year. And a big average. You got Julian Edelman, who's got more of an underneath card. Again, Bob likes that West Coast approach. Not a fan of those receivers with the low averages and a lot of flat pass completions. You got the tight end, his name, for some reason I can't see here, Vance McDonald. Looks pretty good, pretty solid. He's also a 5 blocker, which helps. If he's going to go blocking back, Nick O'Leary is a 4-0. If he's going to go 2 tights, Jordan Reed at one tight end, Vance McDonald at the other, so I think we'll see that. Reed's got a pretty good card this year, better average than he sometimes had, 10.3. I think he's been under 10 times. I'm not certain, but the 5, 6, 7 looks a little better. +6, +5 instead of +3, +4. It's interesting. Like when I was getting ready to play my game last night against Tim, my season opener, I was thinking 2 tight end versus blocking back and stuff. And I've been a 2 tight end guy in all these modern leagues for a long time, probably at least 7 or 8 years, and I've been thinking more about the blocking back lately. If the guy's an asterisk pass rusher, certainly. Because, if you go 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, and you throw a pass to that running back and blocking back comes up on the D, it's a sack. So like have a guy like McCaffrey who you want to throw short passes to, certainly. But if you throw a short pass and he comes up on the D from that formation, it's an automatic sack, even if there is no asterisk involved. So I believe that's the rule. So if you're in a blocking back formation, that's not a problem, right? So anyway, so you got some pretty good receiving target here, and of course Alvin Kamara, who's a great receiver in the NFL. He's got a pretty nice card like the Emron there. He's got the good flat pass, wrong yardage, 7 incomplete. Seems like a guy that might, maybe now with Ingram gone, maybe he's going to step up his production. There was a lot of thought about that. That was, of course, before Drew Brees got injured, but even so. And who knows? It's a thumb for Drew Brees. That affects your throwing in case that's the type of analysis you want. Really, broken thumb affects my throwing. Okay. But yes, it does affect your throwing. So even when he comes back, who knows, gripping the football and these types of things, how he's going to be affected. He's got LeGarrette Blount. See, that's one thing with Dennis. But Dennis is here. Because Dennis always goes for the year. He always knows what kind of cards these guys have. Oh, no, I don't think he's good this year. Whatever. He'll know right off the bat. So Blount is actually had a terrible off tackle wrong. We did a 2.7 average, and actually, it's not good. A lot of +2s and +3s, short games 2 and 12. So the offense, the offense looks like it should struggle here for Arizona. I don't see that he traded any picks next year, which is good. because he might be in the market for a quarterback sooner or later. Let's see what he's got on defense. On the offense, Kamara is his only decent back, but he's not replete with attempts. The run blocking isn't that good to bail him out. Flacco, a quarterback, some good targets, but so he'll be all right. But if he had more attempts on the back, I think then he can run the type of offense he wanted. This might be an offense that has trouble getting into the end zone. One of those field goal type of offenses, and a lot like 13 play, 62-yard drive and stop short of the end zone. Some of that stuff. But I think I picked that type of thing with Bob Sims before. He manages to overdo it as I go past the 5-minute mark on my first team. 3-4 defense is 5-5-4. Starting the true 0-0. Joel I, as I call him, from Chicago. Can't pronounce that last name. Pretty good last name. This one has me. 5-5-4. It goes 5-0-0-4. 0 at one corner. Monty Nicholson, who's an NFL safety. Ken Crawley, I had to make it look good. He's a 0 also. He's actually a corner. 0-4-4-5. So this team, they're in trouble, right? You got some pass rush here with Von Miller, but the rest of your linebackers aren't that good. The secondary is in bad shape, and your offense is a lackluster. Bob's done a great job coaching lately, but I still got to ding this team up. Even the opponent punt returns aren't that great. The kicker's real good. Graham Gano, 2-6, 11-12, out to the 46. Dennis, we have him in Strat 28, so watch out for that. I got to go 5-11 or so. On personnel, I was going to go 4-12. In coaching, I was going to go 6-10. So I'll split the difference. But I think it's clear that if you look at when you're having a corner 0 and 2 inside linebackers zeros, which is not the end of the world, actually, inside linebackers. And, in the secondary being weak and Flacco and not enough rushing attempts, it's a lot to overcome. And Bob's done a great job. That's a lot to overcome. In lesser hands, I might predict even fewer wins. But I'll give Bob 5-11. But, he's overachieved all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did so again. I'll put this on there. Wake up. Type 5. Spell mode on. 1-1. Go to sleep. And, of course, Dennis will add Dennis's predictions in after the fact. He said he might have a chance to pop on for a little while at some point, but I don't think it's going to be for a long time. If it is, then it might just be briefly to say, what's up? And, a cameo. Show some moral support or what have you. And I'll check. There's no studio audience that I see either. Okay. All right. So we got the Atlanta Falcons now. This is Nathan's club. Nathan's in the true rebuild right now. Nathan and I might be the kings of completely destroying our team, like blowing up our team completely and rebuilding, going into a Hugh Jackson 1-31 cycle. Nathan has no problem doing that. I have no problem doing that. I don't think you're going to see that with my SOMIFA team for a while, unless things really go south badly. Of course, I won't do a great start in the post-Andrew Luck era. Sam Donald out for about 5 or 6 weeks with mononucleosis. It's a good way to start the post-Andrew Luck era. That sounds promising. We've got a lot of young talent on this team, a lot of guys in their prime, and a lot of assets. I don't think I would have to go and do a total blow up in a 1-15 type of deal. If I trade a few things for a quarterback, or even if I got to pick up stopgaps for the year for a while, I might be able to do that. Hopefully Sam makes that not required. But I got a bad feeling with Darnold right now. I just, I'm a Jet fan, and, things just don't look out for us. You guys who are, fans of, Pittsburgh, and I know one of the guys in the forum, Longshot, is a Broncos fan, and the Broncos had one losing season since 1999. He hasn't been able to handle the last 3 or 4 years when Denver hasn't been good. So, this is horrible. It's like, dude, it's 3 or 4 years. Didn't you win the Super Bowl 5, 6 years ago? My team hasn't even made the Super Bowl in my life. We haven't made the playoffs now in 7 years. And for me, this is just like normal. I'm comfortable. We got Luke Falk starting tomorrow at New England, week 3 in the NFL. This is what I'm accustomed to. As a Jet fan, you don't set the bar high, you set the bar low. 7-9, and you're just fine. 7-9, and everything's fine. Now we're not going to, of course, we're not going to get 7-9. Sam Darnold out for 5 or 6 weeks. And our third string quarterback, who had never even been active for an NFL game until last week when he was the backup to Trevor Siemian. Our third string quarterback now carrying the water for a few weeks. Sam, don't hurry back, please. You're a young guy. Get healthy. Come back. We need you for the next 12 years. We don't need you, to try and salvage our 1-6 season or whatever the record will be when he comes back. But I got a bad feeling. So it's not going to work out, Darnold. Probably fracture his ribs like the first week back. A lost season. The next year, I don't know. He'll be rusty in the beginning and throw a bunch of picks and then end up okay. And his track record will stink. And people say, oh, yeah, but he finished strong. And like the next year, he'll tear an ACL. Who knows? Not expecting much. Bad news for Sam. He should have got drafted by somebody else. I don't know who. The Giants. So Daniel Jones making his debut tomorrow. Regular season debut. So Nathan, the last 3 years with the Kirk Cousins, LaShawn McCoy team has been a good team. 11-5, 11-5, 10-6. We all know about the coaching in SOMIFA. So having a nice playoff run, 3 or 4 seasons in a row is good. Makes what some of these guys have done even more remarkable. Some of these guys with these very long streaks. And before that, Nathan had a bit of a rebuilding cycle. It was a 10-6 season in there. Otherwise, 5-11, 4-12, 6-10. But before that, he was winning. So you see the ebb and flow with this franchise. And now they'll be ebbing, I suppose. They'll be ebbing, and they'll be flowing into the top of the draft. As I really shouldn't spend much time in this team. And I already have. I'm sure Nathan's got numerous first-round picks for next year lined up. He's got Oakland as number 1. He's got a bevy of number 2s, a couple of number 3s, the Jet 4 from a trade-up to get Mark Andrews, who now has an injured foot. The NFL right now, there's just so many injuries this season. And a lot of people talk about the quarterbacks, not just the quarterbacks. Just like every team is missing 2, 3, 4 starters. And then you have, the Cowboy fans on the forum. Oh, Michael Gallup is out. Oh, what are we going to do? Guys are missing 3 and 4 starters. Michael Gallup's out. It's the end of the world. Yeah, if you expect your NFL team to just be healthy all year long, you're deluding yourself. There's too many injuries in the game. It's a violent game. The collision game, as when somebody once corrected someone who called it a contact sport. The guys are bigger and faster, so the collisions are more powerful. But I don't think the human body is meant to endure that, right? It's like you get bigger and stronger, so you're putting out more strength, I would say. But I don't think it makes you like your muscles, and certainly not your bones, like more resilient. Where you will incur less injury, right? So if anything, like an increased number of injuries should be the norm. And we know all the quarterbacks are out, but like all these teams are just missing a lot of guys. So I don't know. Maybe I need to just go for the year more often. I'm thinking that way anyway, as I talk about myself and my own thoughts again. But Dan Moran posted sometime during this SOMIFA preseason about, well, look, I'm not looking 10, 12 years down the road with my strat. I'm looking at the next few years, and I'm feeling the same way lately. It's like I've been Mr. Long Term forever, but maybe you reach a certain age, it's like, yeah, not that you're thinking morbidly, but it's like, who knows what I'm doing 12 years from now. Let me focus on the next couple of years here or this year. So maybe you'll see me do a little more of that. It's easy. I shouldn't say it's easy. I say that now. It's easier said than done because, I am with the draft. But I would say this year, I may not have been as interested in all the draft prep as usual, although I did really get into it once I got going. So I don't know. I think maybe it's just that there's other things in my life that I need to work on and want to accomplish. So maybe the strat's going to take a little bit of a back burner to those things for a while. We'll see. As I get way off topic. But that's all right. This is how Nathan, when he's hauling goods out there on the West Coast, listens in the car. And Carpenter, not even in our league. Not even in our league. I know from More Than Win. He's only been in there a few years, I believe. he's retired. But he had an 8.5 hour drive somewhere. And he listened to most of the draft recap show during the drive. Could not listen to all of it, but listened to most of it. So Nathan's rebuilding. He's got all the picks, so this is an easy team to do. And, of course, I haven't looked at the schedules for these teams, so I don't know how strong and weak certain schedules are. And that obviously plays a big role. But you got Josh McCown, a quarterback. Is this the Jet? Josh McCown caught only 54.5 with a 3.6 interception percentage. So Drew Stanton, I had Drew Stanton in my 2-14 on a win team, who helped me get Baker Mayfield with his poor play. And that's what Nathan's looking at here. It'll be interesting, to see what happens with the quarterbacks next year. And this is where I'm doing this show the day before week 3 of the NFL, the day before the third Sunday of the NFL season. And Lamar Jackson's off to a great start. Some people say, 2 bad teams, but you have to be impressed so far. Josh Rosen making his debut for the Dolphins tomorrow. Kyler Murray for Arizona would be the top guy. Let's see what Daniel Jones does. Let's see if Dwayne Haskins gets in on it. And of course, how could I ignore, is it Gardner Minshew or Garrett Minshew? Or is it Vishnu, the Hindu god? No, I know it's Minshew, but I don't know if it's Gardner or Garrett with the mustache that everyone seems to enamored with. Wisconsin rolling over Michigan. Well, Jim Harbaugh making it back to the NFL the hard way by getting fired in college. Sixth-round rookie, throwing the ball real well right now, making good decisions. I should learn his name. It's Gardner Minshew. 5 TDs, 1 pick. Maybe it's just that the rules are so easy now and there's so much fast in college. Maybe anyone can play quarterback in the NFL nowadays. We're talking about, you got to get a franchise quarterback. Maybe it's like, you know what? Everyone's going to have one. And it's pretty easy. So don't worry too much about it. And certainly, don't trade a lot for the guy. Who knows? But there's Gardner Minshew. Except Mitchell Trubisky, of course. It's only 2 games. We'll see what Mitchell does this year. But apparently there will still be bad quarterbacks. But it's just, it just seems easier and easier for these young guys to come in and play quarterback in the NFL. Just not like it was even 10 years ago, I would say. Certainly not 15, 20 years ago. So this rebuilding club, Josh McCown has got Shady McCoy of the 3.2 average. He's got Kelvin Benjamin. Sean Ross will be good next year. And that surprised me. I thought he was never going to do anything after the injuries. Evan Ingram. Offensive line to get 4 zeros on it. So Shady's going to really have to dance to open up those holes. To create yards, rather. Alfred Morris, 111 carries against Rolling, not too bad. All 2s on the pass blocking and a 4. You run into sacks that way just from guys standing around. That's how you want to do it. He doesn't have any 0-0s here, so usually that's what you want to do if you're rebuilding and have the 0-0s on the offensive line. 5 was a 4-3 defense. It was 5-0, 5-0. We can get an occasional sack on you with a 7 at left tackle and defensive end. 4-4-5 at linebacker. You got a 5-1 corner. Denzel Ward. The 0-4-4 and 6. It's really not the worst team in the world I've ever seen for a guy doing a total rebuild. Desmond King's got his touchdown in the punt return. Nobody would give anything decent for him. So let's see. This might win a couple. The field goal goes bad out deep. Well, 23-32 anyway. He's 2-6, 11-12. You don't want that. The team will win a couple of games, though. I mean, I've seen worse teams. I'm going to go 3-13, actually. I think Nathan was hoping the team would be worse. We'll see. Wake up. Type 3. 1-3. Go to sleep. And we're on to Buffalo. Scott Mueller's team. Scott recently relocating in real life. This team, I feel like I'm repeating myself so much because I've spoken about these franchises during the draft recap show, right? We talked about what they were doing and their history and this and that. And even in the mock drafts, of course. So I feel like everybody's gotten had a great team, had a good 5-year run with it, won a championship. Then came the lean years of the rebuilding, but now they're back in business after drafting Deshaun Watson last year. So with 7-9 3 years ago, then 1-15 bottomed out. Then with Watson's rookie card, 6-10 last year. Let's see what we got this year for the Bills. You got Watson, a quarterback. I have him as one of the top 5 cards in the set. He's got the flat pass maxed out on wrong. Now, I say flat pass maxed out. I don't know if I'm right. It's truly maxed out. Jay was pointing that out to me, but to me, if you have everything on wrong, except the interception split, I'm going to say that you have a maxed out flat pass card, even if you're not maxed out. That's right, but maxed out flat card, 6, 10, 13, 14, 18. See, again, the short pass wrong. Deshaun Watson completed 68.3% of his passes, 26 touchdowns, which is not a huge number of touchdowns nowadays. 13, 19 only, short pass wrong, 19 only. Once you throw those flat passes, that's what the NFL does, right? Now, against variety, fine. 13 with 10 must-run units, and 2 to 6 is 10 yards or more. 2 to 7 is 9 yards or more. So that's going to be nice if you have real good pass blocking. Keep him upright, unlike the Texans, and hit some must-run. This guy's injury-prone in the NFL or in real sports or whatever you want to say, the real world, in terms of 2 torn ACLs in 3 years, and yet they subject him to a merciless beating because they didn't take care of their line. Didn't trade up to make sure they got this guy, Andre Dillard, who's back up now in Philadelphia. Well, he's pressed into the lineup, I think, because of Jason Peters' injury. Jason Peters always get injured in recent years. He's an older player. But apparently Houston really wanted Dillard, and they didn't move up at all. Philly got in front of him and took him, and then Houston traded an arm and a leg for Larry Tunzel a couple weeks ago, as we noticed. Traded something meager to move up the left tackle they supposedly wanted. So let's hope Tunzel was worth it for Houston Texans fans. And on the bomb, Watts 6-12. So a lot of flat pass, a lot of short pass right. Interceptions put in 10 on the long pass, which surprises me. They had a 1.8 interception percentage. So they're really driving you. So they'll throw flat passes. And that's what they want you to do, because that's what the NFL does. That's how you get those high completion percentages and stuff like that. But Watson's got a very good card. He's got Adrian Peterson as the lead back. 1,000 yards, 4.2 average. It's a chunky card. The end run wrong is not bad, because the 6 is 5 and 6, 0 and +1. Right, though, you get hit with the -8 and -7. I mean, those are basically sacks, drive killers. So maybe you throw a lot and do the end run wrong. The line book wrong is not too bad. You can live with that. And biggest right, you get the 4. Short game, right and wrong. So it's not a great card, but it's a card you can do some stuff with. You'd like to have a better receiver. Also only a 0-2 blocker. I think that's by far his best card. I don't think Jamal Williams doesn't look that great. Chris Ivory, I think, is decent. I don't know how many carries he had. 3.3 average. So, yeah, it's AP's show. They got some pretty good blocking there with 2 7s to protect Watson and 3 5s. And then for run blocking, to left tackle 6, 2 5s and 2 4s. The tight end's a 4, Austin Hooper. The blocking back is a 45, Rhett Ellison. Kenny Galladay's got a pretty decent card, 1926, 12-18 or something. Nelson Aguilar was more of a slot guy. That's not a very good card. 16-22, it's got 64 catches. Shows you how the NFL has changed. 16-22, it is flat, is not that great. 16-22, it does have 12-18 deep. I hate a starting receiver with 16-22. The guy has to have like a 20-yard average or something. Like Nathan will start some of those guys. Austin Hooper at the tight end. 71 catches, 9.3. A little underwhelming with the yardage, and the short pass isn't that great either. So he's kind of a flat pass only type of guy. All right, Ellison dropped off in the blocking. He's got some pretty decent receiving yardage, but, I'm talking about home about. So the offense, Watson's good. The pass block will help. The offensive line will help in general. But I'm not in love. I'm not in love with this offense here. Defensively, it's a 4-3. Of course, everyone is average. This team goes 5-4-5-4. Line with pass rush coming from the left tackle. John Reed, who's at 11. Goes 4-5-4 at linebacker. He's got a strong secondary filled with fives. He's got Bradley Chubb on the bench, 0-4-12-6. You can bring him in and blitz with him quite a bit if he wishes, which is probably a good move. So it's a weird kind of defense. I like the outside linebackers. They're good against the run with a 5. If he wants to start getting a good plug there. But overall, this team, let's see what they get on special teams. Nick Williams looks pretty good on the punt returning. Of course, Darius Jennings is great on the kick returning. Even though it's a little limited with him, it's still real good. Kicker's not great, 23-32 to the 8. And most of these kickers are pretty good up to the 22. So you're looking beyond that. A lot of them are at least 2-6 from deep. So you're almost looking at the 23-32 range is like the difference maker for the kickers. And of course the coverage, but just in terms of field goal kicking. There we go. There's someone involved. Tim now. Hello, Tim. You can always Slack me questions or comments. Anyone who's listening, that would be welcome. That's fine. And it's helpful probably to make the broadcast more interesting. So it's weird trying to predict some of these teams. And again, I don't have a feel right now for what the entire league looks like. I had a better feel during the mock draft, but the drafting and then the trading after the draft to fill holes, the teams will look different. You got to get into computer manager here and into league manager here and to look and see what they look like. So I like Watson a lot. He's real good. Low picks. Peterson, I wish the receiving was a little better. I like the line. The defense can do some things. I'll go 9-7. It's possible that they disappoint. I go 8-8 or 7-9. I think 8-8's more likely than 10-6, but I'll go 9-7. Wake up. Type 9. Type 7. Go to sleep. Chicago. The Bears. That's Brad Lane's club. This team has had an interesting offseason and some interesting decisions. As Brad had the number 1 pick in the draft, which most people thought would be Baker Mayfield, and it was. And he had Matt Ryan has a tremendous card. I think I have Ryan and Breeze is basically equals at the quarterback position this year. Looks like I have Breeze card maybe just a sliver ahead of Matt Ryan. That was one of my grandma. That was my grandma's word. She'd say, "I'll just take a sliver of cake or a sliver of pie," but she liked to eat. She had a sweet tooth, so she'd end up with like 6 slivers of like different pies and cakes on her plate, and go back for a second plate as well. So we have a lot of. It's funny. We have good genes in this family. A lot of lean people with big appetites, which I know people hate to hear that because they're like, that sucks. Because I want to be that way, but it's nice when you can eat whatever you want, even when you're 50, 60 years old, right? And not gain too much weight. I let people thin out in their 60s. Maybe all the heavy people pass away from heart attacks and stuff. I don't know, but it's like in your 40s, it's like everyone's heavy, and then like people who see people in the 60s, there's not that many people who are heavy. So they either lose weight or they go away. I don't know. That's a morbid thought. But Matt Ryan's got a great card. I don't know. It's good to get into some strange segues in this program. Bilko, the flat pass card is not quite maxed because it does not have the split completion on 11. But who cares? I mean, look at the short pass. He's got 19 units guessed right. That's what Watson had guessed wrong. And Matty Ice has got 4 must runs, which is not too bad. Today he gets it 5 yards or more. So it's really a 19 plus. He's got 19. Completed 69.4 last year, 4,900 yards and 35 touchdowns. I mean, that'll get you a good strike. Well, I'll say that much. Okay. How off the elite level? 19, 23, 26, 27. 19, 27. And then in the bomb, 9, 16. I mean, this card is just devastating. So Brad said, I'm not going to draft Mayfield and build up around him. I have a great quarterback card here. Ryan's of an age where you expect another good 4 or 5 seasons minimum. Let me build up the team around him. So we traded the number 1 overall to add for a few things, including Kyle Fuller and Dallas linebacker Jalen Smith. And presumably he made some picks to help him for the year. Well, McGlinchey helps for the year. Jesse Bates helps for the year. Deshaun Hands helps for the year. So yes. And let's see what the product looks like. He's got Mike Davis as the number 1 running back, 112 carries. And he's got a good card. Guess wrong. You're going to get a lot of wrong calls. When Matt Ryan's your quarterback, look at the left tackle. 6.79 short gain. He's not going to take it 60 yards to the end zone, but who cares? It's a solid card. And he can catch a little bit. I mean, it's 7 only. The yardage is not that great, guess right, but he can catch a little bit. Then you got Marlon Mack and Giovanni Bernard as the other running backs. Mack had a kind of an ugly card. Really not that great. You could maybe do some end run wrong with him. Doesn't receive that well, which you hate to see for the type of player you think of him as. And Giovanni Bernard has been around for one time with this team. His whole career, I'm red drafting him. He's not as good as usual. I would like to see this team pick up a better second running back card, a better complement to Mike Davis. I played Tim last night. He had Zach Zenner. That's the perfect type of guy that I'm talking about, you know. I think Zach was in the draft. Tim got him in the 6th round. So I really would like to see a better complement. Those draft picks, you know, they couldn't pick up someone or trade a pick for a back. Should they give me something good for Frank Gore, maybe? I don't know. Something very good. I could always do something very good. Maybe sort my running backs by something better than what I have them sorted at. Yeah, but I would like to see him seek out and get a better second running back to complement Mike Davis. The offensive line, you got 1-7, eyes of 4-2. And you know guys want to come after Matt Ryan. So that's not that great. Ian Thomas is a 0-5 blocking back. He's got a pretty decent receiving card. So he'll probably, unless he's going to go 3 wide or something with Adam Humphries. Brad doesn't strike me as a 3 wide type of guy. And the receivers, Michael Thomas is always real good, of course. Maxed out, flat and short. Only 12-18 deep because the Saints really don't throw deep to him all that often. 11.2 average. And Traquan Smith is the starting flanker. 20 catches, 15.3. I don't know, 16-22. 9-15. I'd like to see him pick up a better number 2 receiver. I know he's saying, well, I don't want to do everything for the year and this and that, but, you know, I'd like to see him pick up a better card for the number 2, like Traquan in the NFL. So Brad was trying to do a little both this year and the future. Durham Smith is the tight end. I don't know how accurate these are. 6 catches, 50 yards. He's supposed to be Dalton Schultz. 12 catches, 9.7. And maybe not. So, yeah, he's still got Matt Ryan, but the offensive line's okay. But they can be hit. And no second running back, and then Michael Thomas will get receiving targets. So, I mean, this really it's still disappointed at times. But it's still not strong enough. You know, I don't want to belabor the point, but for all those picks, maybe some maneuver could have gotten him a better second running back, maybe a better second receiver for the year. And I know this team is usually really good on defense with plenty of talent. They welcome J.J. Watt back, and you see the big numbers leaping out at you. 6'12", 5'6" for this team on the defensive line with 2 12s, Asterisk and Donald and Watt, 7 and 3 respectively. Rookie tackles. Maurice Hurst, 4'5", Deshaun Hand, 5'4". Both guys pretty good players, and Malcolm Brown's in the mix also. So there's a lot of power there on the defensive line. Justin Houston returns 44-11, 5-6 throw. You got Chris Sports, got Budget Pre behind him. Kyle Fuller 1-6 at corner. A lot in the NFL has been very solid since he came back from a devastating injury. I think his rookie or second year. I think he tore an ACL or something, but he's been fine ever since and been playing at a high level. And this secondary was terrible before the trade and the draft, and he got Fuller in the trade as a corner 6. Got Bates late in the first round as a 54 safety. Probably already had Owuzie, and then drafted Tedrick Thompson for that Dennis doesn't like. We also already had Demarius Randall. So it's an interesting team. 6-4, 5-6, 4-5-5, 6 at corner, 4s and a 5. The Matt Ryan offense, you can't bet against that Matt Ryan card, right? I'm going to bet against it. I feel like this is the toughest show I've had in terms of trying to predict guys' records, but I'm going to give him 10-6. You know, I know that. I know Brad's been disappointed, I think, with some of his results lately. 3-13, 6-10 the last 2 years. And I think the team could disappoint. I think they'll still go at least 9-7, though. I'm going to bump up to 10-6 based on Ryan's card. 9-7 is also very, very likely, though. It's a weird team. He needs to get sacks, you know. He can get sacks for this club. It'll make a big difference. And he's got the personnel, 2 12s there. You blitz the 11. You've got Astros here, 7-3, and even the tackles. He's a couple of sacks here or there. Look, 1 sack here or there is huge. I need to focus on that more with my teams, especially this club. Wake up. Go to sleep. Maybe 10-6 is too strong. Maybe go 9-7. I'll go 9-7. I'll go 9-7, but I would expect 10-6 more than 8-8. Or 9-7 for the Bears. Wake up. Type 9. Type 7. Go to sleep. Lack of a second running back is the problem. And these defenses sometimes they can be, tricky to coach, tricky to get them going the right way. We're on to Cincinnati. As Bill Belichick once famously quipped, the Bengals were supposed to be rebuilding last year, as Jay mentioned. This is Jay's version of rebuilding. It goes 10-6. It makes the semifinals where he loses 31-24. 3 straight playoff teams for Jay, whose first full season with the club was for the 2013 season, so he's got 5 under his belt. And no surprise, he's now a perennial playoff participant. He's got Derek Carr, quarterback, who I'm beginning to get mixed feelings about as well. I was always a Derek Carr defender. And many people were like, he's not that great, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't saying he was that great, but I felt confident in him. I don't know. His performance against Kansas City last week was not that great. And it's week 2. It's the second year in the system. And I know they don't have Antonio Brown, and they were counting on him all off season. No one has Antonio right now. His Patriots just cut him. I don't think we'll see him back in the NFL before December, if at all. Maybe when he comes back, he gets a service suspension. I don't know. Maybe no one sends him. Maybe he'll be done for the whole year and try to come back next year. He'll be like 32 by then. So it's possible we've seen the last of him in the NFL. I have a feeling we haven't, though. So we'll see. I would not want him on my team. I'll tell you that much. So Carr's flat pass maxed out. And then short pass 6-10, 13, 13-20. So slightly better than that Watson card. Of course, the Raiders didn't have much on offense last year, including a passing game. Only 19 touchdowns for Carr last year. And that bad offense where he got sacked a million times. So they got a 5-11 deep. So it's not a bad card. I mean, the flat pass is real good. Short pass, not bad. It looks ugly with that 4-5-6 blank. It's got a must run at 9, but it's not bad. You can win with this card. You got to be flat pass heavy, which can be tricky. I would say. Now, he made some trades. So Jay likes to go for the year when possibly likes to draft, but he also likes to go for the year. He picked up Aaron Jones in trade, gave his first-round pickup in a big deal. It was like a 2-for-2 type of deal. He brought back Aaron Jones and something else needed. I think maybe someone in the secondary or whatever. Aaron Jones got an excellent car, gets wrong, and it's going to generate plenty of run calls. Only 115 some odd carries, 133. So that's the issue. Only an okay receiver, good yardage though. And you got Wendell Smallwood, who I traded to Jay. No short gains in the car, Jay. As we joked about that because the draft file said he had all kinds of short gains on the end went wrong. But not short gains. They're plus 12s, 13s, and 14s. So someone needs to message Mike Kane about that. I'm too tired. I'm getting tired. Maybe I'll do half a show and do another half the other time. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to power through. So Smallwood's card is weird. Dennis likes it. He said, I'll go deep in the card. All right. 2-6. Just doesn't get me going with the long pass. But I know what he's saying. You're hoping he doubles with the safety or goes elsewhere and you get this guy undefended or against a 4 and you want to defend an extra long gain on the defense. The short pass isn't bad for a running back. It's not good. Gets right on the running. So I don't know. I'm not in love with this Smallwood card. And I think Judge Ito was more of a future pick. 3.5 average, yeah. Definitely a future because there's not that much present on that card. So I still don't want the running game. Now, blocking, look at this. You got 2 7s at tackle, Taylor Decker and Andrew Whitworth. And you got 3 6s, a left guard 4 and a right tackle 4. So a very fine line. That's going to help the running game as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see Judge Ito get in there for a few carries when no one's looking, so to speak. You got Marquise Goodwin, the speedster, 17.2 average. That looks like a 16.22 and a 9.15. So you got the 10 long game flat. Guess wrong. You got 4 units of long game. Guess wrong. It was really interesting to talk to like Jay and Zeb during the draft recap show. I mean, Dennis and I have been talking to each other for years, so you guys have heard everything. I don't know if I'll go that far. We try to figure things out as we go, and we talk, but how often do you get to hear from some other guys who are top coaches and pick their brain? So it's very, very interesting to hear some of the things that Jay had to say. Maybe Jay would simply say, "Oh, I like that long gain. I like the long gains of the flat pass with Goodman." So you get Doug Baldwin, his last card, 50 catches, 12.4, 19.26, 12.18. The better short pass, long pass guy. Doesn't have the long gains that we like, but better than good with a short pass, long pass for completions. Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, 9.9 average. He's got a decent card. 19.26 short, which is pretty good. That's about that's about as good as you generally get for a tight end. You got to be like Gronk-like, but not George Kittle to get 22.30 to get maxed out on short. And you do get 5.10 deep. So, and the flat pass, the yardage is a little bit better at 9.9 than I thought it was going to be. Dennis and I have him in Strat 28. I was concerned the yardage would be really bad, really weak. I think last year's Jordan Reed card was really weak. But maybe for up around 10, I guess, when I'm seeing this set, it's not too bad. Watch out for the guys maybe down 9 and below if they're a tight end. Or, of course, if they're receivers. So, I guess Tyler Higbee might be your blocking back here. He's got Vernon Davis there, so I don't know how accurate these things are. He's a 4.2. I mean, this is the league file, so it should be pretty accurate, but you never know. Higbee's got a decent receiving card and short pass. Vernon Davis got the flat pass card with more yardage, and the pass block has 0.5, so he'll probably be in there more. I don't think Jay's really much of a 3-wide guy. Dante Moncrief just got benched by the Steelers. 40 catches, 13.9. He's not too bad. 5.10 deep. So it's an unusual offense, but I mean, Jay is a tremendous coach. But I feel like this offense is just kind of weird. So let's see what we have on the other side of the football. It's a 3-4 defense. Eddie Goldman's a true nose tackle, so it goes 5.64 then 4-0-4-4, 5-6 at corner, 6-5 at safety. So a lot of strength there. He picked up one of these McCourties in that deal where he surrendered 1.24 and something else good. Maybe not 1.24, but he surrendered a late number one, I think, and or his one next year. I forget which. Did he draft anybody this year? Thanks to Tim Bollier for organizing these files for me. He had no first-round pick. Got Jerome Baker late in the second. Is that right? He got Braden Smith in the third round. Is that right? Well, that's a steal. As long as Brissett doesn't run into too many sacks. But yeah, third round, Braden Smith. That's nice. So his defense looks strong. Again, the coaching makes such a big difference. Can make things look stronger, right? I mean, Jay's a great coach. He's got a 6 nose tackle. He's got a secondary with 2 6s in it, a 5 left corner, 5 free safety. You know he's going to play real good defense. He just will, right? So the defense will be strong. The offense gets enough done. Again, the coaching makes such a big difference. In lesser hands, I would pick a lesser result. But the league seems pretty competitive this year, so I'm not going to go crazy with this team. And Carr does have some limitations. And after Aaron Jones, the running game isn't that strong. I'll go 10-6, though, for Jay with this team. Same as last year, Jay. When you're rebuilding, I should know better, right? I'll give him 10-6. We'll see what happens. Wake up. 1-0. Type 6. Go to sleep. Try and pick up the pace now. Maybe go about 4 minutes a team, if I can. As we move on to Dallas, Zeb Strong's club. Zeb always one of the best coaches around. This team did not have a losing season until 2 years ago. Last year, he bounced back 9-6-1 to make the playoffs. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 playoff appearances in the last 7 years, including the 2013 championship. And Jay's got Marcus Mariota and Cam Newton. So he might need a 3-quarterback system come next year. Mariota really surprised me. I really like Mariota coming into the league. So there's a guy. It's so hard with young quarterbacks. Sometimes it's like, why you bother projecting? It's like trying to project these strat running cards. Why even bother? It's so unlikely. You're so unlikely to be accurate. It's hard. But anyway, I had really liked Mariota. And, maybe he'll still turn around. Maybe the Jacksonville defense is for real again, but that's certainly not doing a lot right now. And you just don't see him looking like he's ever going to do a lot, like he's ever going to take off. Where's the dynamic plays and the explosive plays and stuff throwing the football down the field? And I don't know. Maybe part of his personality. Corey Davis had a good year last year. Didn't have a great year this year. And the play calling, they like to run the ball a lot. Bay has that head coach now. All right, but you got Cam Newton and Marcus Mariota, the quarterback. I think Cam's a little bit flat. 10-18 short. The picks are a little high, short and long, more than a little. Picks are high, short and long. The running is okay on the end run. The must run is not as good as you'd like. Mariota's also real good flat. Looks like Cam has a better card, but maybe more turnovers. Go to my mathematical rankings, which need to be modified. I have Mariota 5 spots ahead of Newton, but looking quickly with the naked eye, I might prefer Cam Newton. I don't know. It's weird. I'm getting very tired lately at times. I don't know why I'm so tired right now. I slept reasonably well last night. The night before, I only slept about 3 hours. So, yeah, that could be why. Maybe I need to catch up. So, and look at his offensive line. Zeb invests heavily in the offense. Not heavily, but Zeb invests in the offensive line in the draft. And you see, he's more than invest. He hits. He knows what he's doing. He's got 4 7s. I don't know, whoever your quarterback is, that's going to help him. With the dump off, especially. You got 4 7s, pass blocking, and then the odd man out, Quentin Spain's a 2. Jay, what's going on over there? Jay Zeb. What's going on over there? How did this guy make this starting lineup? But again, I was talking about this with Dennis. We talked about it during the draft recap show. Looked like it was going to be a very competitive year in SOMIFA. Maybe, dominant teams, a lot of teams that are pretty good. So, even teams, so teams are going to have some holes, with Jay, I don't think we were thrilled with the receivers. Not too many guys have any good tight ends. Those weren't great over there. The pressure from the down lineman, I think, wasn't great for Jay, and I don't recall. So I mean, there's going to be like if almost everyone is competing, there's going to be more weaknesses on the rosters because the talent spread out more. Even if this is quote unquote only a 2014 league, I'm getting used to the larger leagues now, the 28s and the 30s, and they have way more holes. So, but anyway, Quentin Spain out there as a 4-2. Now you got this crazy running back group. He's got plenty of NFL ability, and the track cards are weird. But Derrick Henry got the 7-stroke game right and wrong, but around it is not much. And then his end run wrong is pretty good. The line book wrong is pretty not bad. There's the positive yardage. They're not receiving much this year. It's on drop and pass on Thursday night also. It's a weird card for a guy you just don't think of as this type of back. You think of as a little more consistent. Dalvin Cook off to a great start in the current NFL season. He's got a nice guess wrong card. And pretty good receiving for him. Much better than he was last year when he was only a rookie, which could happen. When you're starting NFL halfback, you kind of expect the guy to get 7 only incomplete on the flat pass. Kevin Dixon, I remember, has a good card. 60 carries. Oh, the guy, 8 and 9 short gain. That's right, 6 and 8 short gain off tackle. With some hideous minuses worked in between. So, Zeb likes to run the ball. I think he likes cards that are a little more consistent than this trio. But they should be effective, and he'll be able to throw the ball with more effectiveness with some of those wrong calls. Tyrell Williams, 15.9, is only 1926, but he might be maxed out deep. This looked like a maxed out deep card. 1521 on the bomb. I may have to do only half a show. I'm really getting tired. I don't know why. I'll take a nap and then the other half. We'll see. I don't know. I feel healthy, but I've been tired a lot in the last week or so. Maybe I just need to catch up on some sleep. Maybe I'll stop after Dallas. 1, 2, 3, 4, a quarter of a show. I have to. I'm getting pretty tired. I'm not sure what's up. 16.8 average for Cortland Sutton. 1622 on the short passing. And 12-18 on the long passing. So he's got some yardage there. Now, he didn't have the long gains that Zeb said he looks for. He's got the plus 31, though, on 10. Plus 36. So not quite a long gain yardage on the lower end. Gerald Everett, who I believe Zeb drafted last year. 9.7 average. Not a great call, but he's a blocking 5. I don't know, Zeb likes to block. Could be I guess it won't be a 2 tight end set. It'll be either Eric Swoop or maybe Robert Tanyan, who's a tight end 6. Maybe he'll be lining up on the other end. It's a weird looking offense. It's a very strange looking offense. But I know better than to bet against Zeb. 3-4 defense. Goes. Yeah, Williams was a starting nose tackle last year. Yes. Goes 5-5-4 against the run. 4-5-6-4 at linebacker. 0 at one corner. 5 the other corner safety 4s. I don't know, Zeb. 5-5-4. 4-5-6-4 with good pass rush here from D Ford. Jonathan Allen and Marcus Hunt give you something. Wise can come in passing situations. You can blitz some of these guys like Javon Brown. Oh, he's got the 6. But even the other guys have got 6s. Corner 0 and safety 4s. Zeb just begging me to ding his team here. He's such a good coach. I should know better than to pick against him. Jakeem Grant, touchdown on 3. And then plus 18 and plus 27, that's going to help him. Good kick returning when that does come up. And good punt returning. So I'm going to give this team 9 and 7 in lesser hands. I might pick a 1-500 record. Wouldn't be surprised at 8 and 8. Wouldn't be surprised at 10 and 6 on the coaching. But it's going to be the coaching. Because the quarterbacks are on the lower end of the starting range. The running back cards are unusual. All they're pretty good gets wrong. I wish the receiving targets were better. The offensive line is real good. The secondary concerns me. But I'll go 9 and 7. The special teams helps. I'll go 9 and 7 regardless. And guys, I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to stop my show right now. I feel really, really tired. I'm not sure what's up. I don't feel sick. I just feel wiped out. And I will resume the show hopefully tonight with the other 3 quarters of it. My apologies to Tim, who's waiting to hear Tampa Bay. Waiting to hear Tampa Bay near the end of the thing alphabetically. You should move your team to Anchorage. You'll be the number 1 team in all the shows. So, guys, this will be part 1 of this season preview, and I'll do part 2 hopefully tonight. My apologies, but I'm really just wiped out. Bye-bye.